My name is Gavin Evans, and this is a different kind of video. Today I'm going to talk about 6 movies that are coming out in 2022 that I should be excited for, but I'm not, and I'm going to explain why. So this isn't in any specific order, I'm just listing off 6 random movies. So anyways, the first movie I'm going to talk about is Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Now, I'm a massive fan of the Harry Potter franchise. I think it's a great franchise. I really enjoyed it. And the first Fantastic Beasts movie is decent. But the second Fantastic Beasts movie, The Crimes of Grindelwald, was an atrocious piece of shit. I hated every second of it. And it was bad enough to ruin any possible excitement I could have for this franchise moving forward. They retcon everything in the first Fantastic Beasts movie. They introduce all these plot points which I just don't care about. And now I just don't care about the future of this franchise. I don't care about this world anymore. You should have just ended it off after Deathly Hallows Part 2. And there's no reason why I should think this third movie is going to be any better. There's been rumors that this movie is just a mess behind the scenes. You still got J.K. Rowling writing the scripts and David Leitch directing. And obviously that's not working so far. I just don't care about this franchise anymore. I'm done. So I'm not excited for this movie. The next movie I'm going to mention is Jurassic World Dominion. Now, I love the first Jurassic Park. It's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. The other Jurassic Park movies, the second one, meh. The third one, bad. Jurassic World, bad. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I actually do like. I know people really hated that movie. I got some enjoyment from it. But I'm not excited to see this franchise continue because it's just gone on far longer than it needed to. And the addition of Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill and Laura Dern, it just feels like they're trying to pull Star Wars. They're bringing back the original cast for one last final movie, and I'm just not invested in the overarching story of this franchise. I don't need that. They've gone from one of the best made blockbusters of all time to just a generic summer franchise. And that's from someone who enjoys Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I just don't care about this overarching story. I don't care about them bringing the old cast members back. It's directed by Colin Trevorrow, the same guy who made Jurassic World, and I just feel like we're going to get an incredibly generic summer blockbuster here. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's a ton of fun. I'm just highly skeptical about that. So I guess we'll see. The third movie I'm going to talk about is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, I actually really do enjoy the first Black Panther movie. It's not perfect, it's got issues, but it is a really good movie. And I'd be totally down for the sequel, but the tragic truth is, Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther himself, passed away. And I was very saddened to hear that. The guy was an incredible actor. And for them to even make this movie just seems like an impossible task ahead of them. But I just think they're making every wrong decision. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe they find a way to pull it off. But the decision to not recast him, how are you going to have a Black Panther movie without Black Panther? It just seems... It's just a baffling decision that I can't wrap my head why they would go about it this way. I just have no faith in this movie. It's a movie, it's very unfortunate everything that's happened to this movie behind the scenes, but I just think they're making all the wrong decisions, and hopefully I'm proven wrong, but this movie just appears like it's going to be a complete mess. The next movie I'm going to talk about is The Flash. Everybody's excited for this movie. Everybody's looking forward to see Michael Keaton play the Batman again. And it's just kind of funny that it's a Flash movie and everybody's talking about Batman. Whatever. They're already doing the Flashpoint storyline, which is just way beyond rushed if you ask me. The very first movie focusing on only the Flash, they're introducing this huge story way too soon. The characters in this universe aren't developed nearly enough. So instead of telling a proper story, it seems like the goal here is to actually reboot the entire universe, which is just an awful decision to make. Yeah, I love Michael Keaton as Batman. He is my favorite Batman, but I loved what he was doing working with Tim Burton. It's not going to be the same seeing him now. It's just relying on nostalgia for nostalgia's sakes. Everything I've heard about this movie makes it sound like an absolute mess. Andy Muschietti did a good job with the first It, but anytime he tries to work with bigger effects, with bigger budgets. His movies just go down in quality. He's not an effects-driven director, and I feel like he's the complete wrong choice here. Nothing about this movie sounds good. The next movie we're going to talk about actually breaks my heart to talk about it like this. I'm a massive fan of the Uncharted games. I love them so very much. And the decision to have Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg play Drake and Sully is just a baffling, atrocious decision. Nothing about them feels like the characters I know and love. And I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, but watching that first trailer, all my excitement went away. For them to take the story of the fourth game, the finale, and put it in the very first movie, just a baffling, awful decision. The obvious call was to make it based off of the first game. I love this franchise, I love these characters, but it looks like they got everything wrong here. Now, the last movie I'm going to talk about is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, when this movie was announced, I was so excited for it. They announced that it was actually going to be the MCU's first horror movie, and that title, In the Multiverse of Madness, it's just an amazing title. I was very excited to see what Scott Derrickson was going to bring to this movie. But then he was fired, and I'm just like, okay, now I'm skeptical. But then they brought in Sam Raimi, who is a director I absolutely love. I love his Evil Dead movies. I love his Spider-Man movies. Hell, I even enjoy Oz the Great and Powerful. And I was just like, you know what? I'm actually even more into this movie now than I was before. And that would be the case, but everything I've heard about this movie gets me incredibly woke. See, I was excited that Sam Raimi was going to direct this movie because I know he can handle camp very well. He could bring his own horror elements into it, and that it was just going to be a crazy, wacky movie. But everything I've heard about this movie just doesn't sound like that. In fact, it sounds like fan service, the movie, which really bums me out. Like, this is all just rumors, mind you, and I don't have any sources, but I've just heard that Tom Cruise is going to come in and play Iron Man in one scene. I've heard Tobey Maguire is going to come in and be in this movie. I've heard that Professor X by Patrick Stewart is going to come back in this movie. And I've just heard stuff along that line, and now it gets me worried that, like, oh man, they're just using the multiverse to just bring up all these Easter eggs and all that. And now, just like that, my excitement has completely died for this movie. If it actually embraces the horror genre and Sam Raimi's allowed to be Sam Raimi, I'll be so very excited for this movie. But it just doesn't sound like that's the case for now. And that really bums me out. But those are 6 movies that I should be excited for, that lots of people are excited for, that come out in 2022, that I'm just not. But what are some movies of that apply to you? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.